Northern's Media PR and Marketing Limited presents the Global IP Matrix Magazine Issue 21. Front cover text. Space Technologies for Earth Applications, Patent Trends in Satellite Engineering and Telemetry. The Red Bull Battle, a commercial and intellectual property war lasting 8 years. Muraho, Rwanda's .rw domain disputes and digital growth. Exploring trademark registration processes in the EU, UAE, and Singapore. Patent crackdown, USPTO terminates 3,100 patent applications. Meet INTA's 2025 President, a conversation with Elizabeth Stewart Bradley. Headline text. Leveraging IP to enhance sports tourism in Saint Lucia. Natalie E. Glitzenhirn-Augustin, legal practitioner at Glitz Law, Saint Lucia. Front cover strip advertisement. Pat World. Patent intelligence platform and research services. www.patworld.com, mail at patworld.com, telephone, +44 01633 816 601.
Inside front cover advertisement. The Caribbean IP Annual 2025. Promoting IP excellence in the Caribbean. Making its debut in 2025. Northon's Media PR and Marketing Ltd. is thrilled to announce the highly anticipated launch of our newest publication, the Caribbean IP Annual. Our goal with this publication is to continue promoting and highlighting the excellence in intellectual property within the Caribbean region. By providing valuable insights into the constantly evolving IP landscape of the 13 sovereign island nations, we hope to contribute to the growth and development of this vibrant industry. Stay connected with us for all the latest updates and a comprehensive understanding of the intellectual property sector in this dynamic region. Join our inaugural edition launching at INTA San Diego, California, USA 2025. If you happen to be an IP law firm, practitioner, or business owner, we would be delighted to receive your inquiry. Our new platform presents a unique opportunity for you to showcase your knowledge and engage with a captivated international audience seeking referrals, business collaborations, and valuable insights into IP matters within your specific jurisdiction. www.caribbeanipannual.com. Email cipannual@northons.pr.
Page 3. Editor's Note and Northon's Media Publisher Credentials. Dear readers, Happy New Year! As we usher in 2025, we extend our warmest wishes to you, the innovators, practitioners, and visionaries shaping the intellectual property, IP, landscape worldwide. This year holds tremendous promise for creativity and advancement, and the Global IP Matrix is thrilled to stand alongside you as your trusted companion in navigating this dynamic field. Our first edition of 2025 highlights the extraordinary depth and diversity of IP law and practice across the globe. In this issue, we feature several thought-provoking articles that provide unique perspectives on the challenges and opportunities defining the world of IP today. From engineering to IP excellence, a multidisciplinary approach. We kick off with an insightful interview with Claudia of Dormann IP in Switzerland. Claudia shares how her multidisciplinary expertise, from chemical engineering to interior design, has enabled her to approach IP consulting with a unique perspective. Her experiences across various industries and regions offer valuable lessons on navigating the ever-evolving IP landscape while maintaining empathy and innovation in client relations. Muraho, Rwanda's digital leap. Daniel Greenberg of Lexsynergy introduces us to Rwanda's pioneering .rw domain name dispute resolution policy. This article explores how Rwanda's digital transformation is shaping the region's IP framework. By fostering a robust online identity and protecting trademarks through accessible dispute mechanisms, Rwanda is positioning itself as a leader in Africa's digital economy. The battle for Jamaica rum. In a compelling examination of geographical indications, Lisa Rooms delves into the ongoing legal battle surrounding Jamaica rum. This piece highlights the complexities of protecting regional products while balancing tradition with innovation. It is an essential read for understanding the interplay between cultural heritage and modern IP regulations. Leveraging IP for sports tourism. Natalie E. Glitzenhirn-Augustin of Glitz Law explores the intersection of sports, tourism, and IP rights in Saint Lucia. With its rising sports profile and natural allure, the island is capitalizing on IP strategies to create a sustainable sports tourism ecosystem. This article underscores how IP can drive economic growth while preserving cultural and natural assets. These and many other articles in this issue reflect IP's expansive reach in shaping industries, safeguarding cultural heritage, and driving innovation. From policy developments to landmark cases, the global IP matrix continues to bring you unparalleled insights and expert commentary. As we embark on this new year, we remain committed to providing a platform for sharing knowledge, sparking dialogue, and celebrating the achievements of the global IP community. Let us make 2025 a year of progress and collaboration. Warm regards. The Global IP Matrix magazine is published by Northern's Media PR and Marketing Limited. Carlos Northern, CEO and founder. Carlos at northernspRmarketing.com. Elvin Hassan, editor. Elvin at womensIPworldannual.com. Craig Barber, head of design. Craig at northernspRmarketing.com. Dhruva Dakani, head of marketing and creative design. Dhruva at northernspRmarketing.com. Zafiera Hudani, reporter. Zafiera at northernspRmarketing.com. Page 4. Editorial Board of Directors. Malden Vukma, Vukma Attorneys, Croatia. Keisha Fleming Lake, managing partner at Cerveri Monsuarez, Anguilla. Max Montero, partner, Johansson and Langlois, Chile. Laura Collada, managing partner, Dumont, Mexico. Ray Zhao, senior partner at Unitlan Attorneys at Law, China. Sarah Norka Anku, global managing partner, S.N. Anku IP Law Firm, Ghana. Page 5. Contents page. Page 8. Leveraging IP to enhance sports tourism in Saint Lucia. Written by Natalie E. Glitzenhirn-Augustin, legal practitioner at Glitz Law, Saint Lucia. Page 11. From Engineering to IP Excellence, a multidisciplinary approach with Claudia Kaya of Dormann IP, Switzerland. Zafira Hudani, reporter at Northern's Media PR and Marketing Limited, interviews Claudia Kaya, director and managing IP consultant at Dormann IP, Switzerland. Page 15. Battle for Jamaica Rum. Written by Lisa Rooms, managing partner, Grant, Henry and Rooms, Jamaica. Page 17. Space Technologies for Earth Applications, Patent Trends in Satellite Engineering and Telemetry. Written by David Lee Jones, patent analyst at Patworld Limited, UK. Page 23. Patent Application Strategies in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Written by Tina Nan, managing partner, Co-Horizon IP Attorneys, China. Page 27. Patent Crackdown, USPTO terminates 3,100 patent applications. Written by Michelle S. Katz, founding partner at Advitum IP LLC, USA. Page 29. Adventures of Extension. Written by Vladimir Biryulin, partner, and Elena Nazina, partner at Gorodisky and Partners, Russia. Page 31. The Concept of Damages for Copyright Infringement in Ghana. Written by Sarah Norka Anku, global managing partner, and Onyenichukwu Mary Magdalene Okeya-Dotsi, head of Nigeria office at SN Anku IP firm, Ghana. Page 35. An outline of the copyright regime in Sri Lanka. Written by Anomi Wanigasekara, partner, and Sabira Sharif, senior associate at Julius & Creasy, Sri Lanka. Page 37. Muraho, Rwanda's .rw domain disputes and digital growth. Written by Daniel Greenberg, CEO of Lexsynergy, UK. Page 39. The Red Bull Battle, a commercial and intellectual property war lasting 8 years. Written by Ray Zhao, partner at Unitlan, China. Page 41. Suriname, a nation on the verge of change. Written by Elson Frank, attorney and founder at Vision Legalis Advocaten, Republic of Suriname. Page 43. Exploring trademark registration processes in the EU, UAE, and Singapore. Written by Zafira Hudani, reporter at Northern's Media PR and Marketing Limited. Page 47. Meet INTA's 2025 President, a conversation with Elizabeth Stewart Bradley. Written by the International Trademark Association, INTA. Page 6. Contributors of the Global IP Matrix Magazine Issue 21. Michelle S. Katz, founding partner at Advitum IP LLC, USA. David Lee Jones, patent analyst at Patworld Limited, UK. Anomi Wanigasekara, partner at Julius & Creasy, Sri Lanka. Sabira Sharif, senior associate at Julius & Creasy, Sri Lanka. Lisa Rooms, managing partner, Grant, Henry & Rooms, Jamaica. Elena Nazina, partner at Gorodisky & Partners, Russia. Sarah Norka Anku, global managing partner at SN Anku IP firm, Ghana. Ray Zhao, partner at Unitelin, China. Daniel Greenberg, CEO of Lexsynergy, UK. Claudia Kaya, director and managing IP consultant at Dormann IP, Switzerland. Zafira Hudani, reporter at Northlands Media PR and Marketing Limited. Tina Nan, managing partner, Co-Horizon IP Attorneys, China. Elizabeth Stewart Bradley, 2025 President and Chair of the Board of Directors, INTA. Natalie E. Glitzenhirn-Augustin, legal practitioner at Glitz Law, Saint Lucia. Vladimir Biryulin, partner at Gorodisky & Partners, Russia. Onyenichukwu Mary Magdalene Okeya-Dotsi, head of Nigeria office at SN Anku IP firm, Ghana. Elson Frank, attorney and founder at Vision Legalis Advocaten, Republic of Suriname. Contribute to the Global IP Matrix magazine. For those keen on contributing their expertise within the realm of intellectual property, IP, to a global audience, we cordially invite you to reach out to us at info@gipmatrix.com or via telephone at +44 0 2038 130457. We eagerly anticipate the opportunity to collaborate and disseminate valuable insights within the IP industry.
Page 7. Advertisement. Advert 1. United Trademark and Patent Service. Intellectual Property Attorneys. Your reliable partners for intellectual property matters in Pakistan, South Asia, Arabian Gulf, Middle East, and Africa. Trademark, patent, design, copyright, domain name registration, litigation and enforcement law. Regional Head Office. Suites 401 to 402, Al Hawaii Tower, Sheikh Zayed Road, Dubai, UAE. Telephone +971 4343 754. Fax +971 4343 7546. Email dubai@unitedtm.com or unitedtrademark@unitedtm.com. Websites www.utmps.com or www.unitedip.com. Pakistan Office. 85, The Mall Road, Lahore 54000, Pakistan. Adjacent Radho Kronos/Hang 10 Mall Plaza Building. Telephone +92 42 3628 5588 90, +92 42 3628 5581 84. Fax +92 42 3628 5585, 3628 5586, 3628 5587. Email unitedtrademark@unitedtm.com.
Page 8. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Leveraging IP to enhance sports tourism in Saint Lucia. Written by Natalie E. Glitzenhirn-Augustin, legal practitioner at Glitz Law, Saint Lucia. Sports events are increasingly seen as powerful drivers of global economic growth. In Saint Lucia, as in many other countries, the convergence of sports, tourism, and intellectual property rights is helping to create new economic opportunities. The global sports industry represents a significant portion of the overall tourism sector, which is estimated to be worth $4.5 trillion. The sports industry is a key component of the tourism economy, from infrastructure and training to hospitality and merchandising. It is expected to grow steadily annually, providing opportunities for economic expansion worldwide. Small nations like Saint Lucia, with its natural beauty and vibrant culture and home to track and field star Julian Alfred, the 100-meter Olympic champion and one of the world's fastest women, have the potential to benefit from the global sports tourism boom. As the island's sports profile grows, Saint Lucia can attract investment, generate employment, and stimulate urban development by strategically using intellectual property rights associated with sports events. As the host of events such as cricket tournaments bolstered by the current fame of Darren Sammy and the Saint Lucia Kings, or international sailing regattas, such as the Atlantic Rally for Cruisers and the World Arc, the island can create wealth through the sale of broadcasting rights, as well as sponsorships and merchandising deals, all of which are underpinned by IP protections like trademarks and copyrights, especially if leveraged against the athlete's fame and lucrative mutually beneficial image rights. These revenues can be reinvested in upgrading sports infrastructure, such as stadiums and arenas, while boosting the local economy by creating hospitality, retail, and transport jobs. For example, hosting a major international sports event in Saint Lucia naturally encourages visitors from around the world who, in addition to attending the event itself, may stay for extended periods and enjoy the island's attractions and local culture. Suppose the island has taken strategic decisions to protect its name, iconic landmarks, the pitons, and local parlance, hisalop. In that case, sports memorabilia can be sold to attendees, generating additional revenue for the local economy. The strategic use of IP rights makes these transactions possible, creating new sources of income and fostering further opportunities for economic development. Media rights have become an essential revenue stream for sports event organizers. In recent decades, the value of these rights has skyrocketed, as evidenced by the lucrative deals seen in the United States with the National Football League, NFL, where media rights are worth billions of dollars. In a similar fashion, Saint Lucia can capitalize on media rights to boost its visibility on the global stage. Hosting high-profile events such as invitational track meets or a regional football tournament could attract international broadcasting attention, creating substantial revenue opportunities through media rights and commercial sponsorships. Moreover, IP rights related to branding and sponsorship are crucial in strengthening the identity of a sports event and attracting top-tier sponsors. By promoting the island's unique cultural and natural assets alongside the sporting event, Saint Lucia can create an iconic brand that resonates with both sports fans and tourists. Beyond the immediate economic gains, the combination of sports, tourism, and IP rights can potentially leave a lasting legacy for the people of Saint Lucia. Like other countries that have successfully integrated sports events into their tourism strategies, such as Jamaica with its annual marathons, Saint Lucia can enhance its global reputation and boost its international standing. Through the careful planning and execution of a sports tourism strategy, the island could enjoy increased investment, improved infrastructure, and a more competitive tourism industry. The global sports tourism market is growing at an extraordinary rate. According to the World Tourism Organization, WTO, the travel and tourism industry is valued at $7 trillion, and sports tourism accounts for a substantial portion of that total. For Saint Lucia, which is already known for its natural beauty, cultural heritage, and warm hospitality, the success of athletes like Julian Alfred and Darren Sammy is key to leveraging the island's sporting profile to attract global sports tourists. Moreover, the increasing popularity of digital media and OTT platforms presents new opportunities for the island. While traditional sports broadcasters face declining viewership, especially among younger audiences, digital platforms provide an avenue for reaching a global audience. Saint Lucia could license and partner with these emerging platforms to broadcast its sports events, expanding its reach and attracting a younger demographic of sports fans. By effectively using IP strategies, such as media rights, sponsorships, and branding, Saint Lucia can build a sustainable sports tourism ecosystem that benefits both the local economy and the international sporting community. With the revenue generated through leveraging registered IP rights, Saint Lucia's investment in sports infrastructure, coupled with a clear strategy for capitalizing on its athletes' global recognition, can turn the island into a premier destination for sports events, attracting visitors and investors alike. As the world of sports tourism continues to evolve, Saint Lucia's profile as a sporting destination will only continue to rise, driving economic growth and leaving a lasting legacy for future generations.
Page 10. Advertisement. AIPPI 2025 AIPPI Midterm Meeting. Zagreb, Croatia, 20th and February 21st, 2025. Tradition with a modern twist. Visit www.aippi.network. 2025 AIPPI World Congress. Yokohama, Japan 13th to September 16th, 2025. Japan's Gateway to Innovation. Visit www.aippi.org.
Page 11. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. From Engineering to IP Excellence, a multidisciplinary approach with Claudia of Dormann IP, Switzerland. Zafira Hudani, reporter at Northern's Media PR and Marketing Limited, interviews Claudia, director and managing IP consultant at Dormann IP, Switzerland. ZH. With such a diverse background in chemical engineering, interior design, and IP law, what initially attracted you to the field of intellectual property, and how has your multidisciplinary expertise influenced your approach to IP consulting? CK. I have a diverse educational background that has allowed me to provide information to clients who are looking to create new inventions or protect their ideas. I began my career as an industrial engineer for an international chain of companies that was looking to protect a trade secret in their product. I worked for this company as what we would now refer to as in-house counsel before the name was created. I then went on to work at the Turkish Intellectual Property Office. As I gathered my experience, I transitioned to private practice for IP law. My diverse educational background has assisted me in navigating the broad arena of intellectual property law. My chemical engineering and industrial design knowledge has provided me with the basis for understanding medical and chemical products that clients wish to protect. Intellectual property law is a practice area that provides an exciting opportunity for me to combine my knowledge and experience in a unique way that enables me to assist clients. I learn something new every day, and this provides me with an immense sense of satisfaction. ZH. As director and managing IP consultant at Dormann IP, what are the key challenges you face in managing IP portfolios for clients across diverse industries such as chemical engineering, medical engineering, and life sciences? CK. As director and managing IP consultant at Dormann IP, I have the challenge of balancing the many factors included in each portfolio. At Dormann IP, different portfolios require specific areas of expertise. For example, there may be a startup company that develops herbal-based products. In this scenario, the client must be provided with information from an expert in biomechanical engineering. At the same time, the client must be provided with legal knowledge relating to how to protect the product in the jurisdictions in which the client plans to sell the product. In addition, the client must be provided with information on how that product can be marketed. In order to provide a holistic approach, Dormann IP provides each client with a team. Each member of the team contributes to the development of an action plan that is tailored to the needs of the client. ZH. Your experience spans several countries, including Germany, Turkey, and now Switzerland. How have the different IP landscapes in these regions shaped your global perspective on intellectual property law? KC. I have worked in many counties. My experience has allowed me to learn about the specific requirements of individual countries. At the same time, I have learned that each country highlights the importance of protecting the rights of individuals and companies that strive to invent new products and processes. These products and processes have the potential to benefit the creator or inventor as well as the consumer, who benefits from the invention. ZH. Dormann IP is a boutique firm located in the canton of Zug, Switzerland. What unique advantages does the Swiss IP landscape offer to international clients, and how does Dormann IP leverage these in its services? KC. Dormann IP is located in canton of Zug, Switzerland. This is a unique location for a number of reasons. First, Switzerland is a politically neutral country. Second, it is in the center of Europe. Third, the canton of Zug is the only German-speaking canton. In this region of the country, people speak one of 3 official languages: German, French, and Italian. English is the preferred language for business transactions. Fourth, the Swiss Chamber of Economy provides government cooperation and special incentives to those who decide to start a business or do business in Switzerland. At Dormann IP, we attend events hosted by the Swiss Chamber of Economy to connect with individuals who may benefit from our services and to support the Swiss Chamber of Economy in its effort to grow the economy of the country. In addition, we have an international network of partners at Dormann. Our partners have long-standing business relationships and are dedicated to assisting our clients. ZH. In your practice, you emphasize the importance of empathy and emotional intelligence in building business relationships. Can you share how these qualities have contributed to your success as an IP consultant and business developer? KC. At Dormann IP, we believe there is always a way to develop individual knowledge and education further. Business relationships are based on trust. In order to develop trust, it is important to empathize with others. As a person who has practiced for several years, I have found that most intellectual property professionals have emotional intelligence and empathy. This creates a healthy environment in which it is possible to ask a colleague for advice and talk about issues that arise that require additional expertise. I have found that by attending international conferences, I have built a network of colleagues who have become part of my extended family. This provides me with a level of comfort and confidence that assists me in my day-to-day work with clients. ZH. Given your extensive experience in IP law, particularly in patents, industrial designs, and trademarks, what are the most significant trends or challenges you see emerging in these areas, and how is Dormann IP preparing to address them? KC. Today, technology has exponentially increased the amount of available information. A wealth of information is provided through newsletters, organizations such as the EPO, and fellow practitioners. The mainstream use and availability of artificial intelligence have the potential for big opportunities for innovation. Using new tools to adapt to these changing times is an advantage. For example, today, we can access software to draft a patent application if keywords are entered into the program. This increases the efficiency of completing a task that generally would take an expert a few days. However, the artificial intelligence tool, in my opinion, does not replace the knowledge and expertise of a human being who possesses the skills and abilities to perform the same tasks. At Dormann IP, we prioritize ongoing education to provide clients with advice to benefit them in this evolving area of the law. ZH. What advice would you offer to young professionals or recent graduates considering a career in intellectual property law, especially those from non-traditional backgrounds like yours? KC. As I mentioned earlier, I have a wealth of knowledge and experience in different fields. I advise young professionals or recent graduates to begin an IP career in private practice. Private practice provides a unique space in which to blend knowledge and experience. This is an exciting area of the law that is constantly evolving. In the area of intellectual property, there is the opportunity to witness and learn about new inventions or products firsthand. A career in IP law has allowed me to have a broad scope of knowledge and still learn something new every day. Thank you, Claudia, for taking the time to speak with us today. It's truly an honor to delve into your multidisciplinary journey, spanning chemical engineering, interior design, and intellectual property law. Your unique perspective offers valuable insights into the evolving IP landscape, and we're thrilled to learn more about your approach and expertise at Dormann IP.
Page 13. Advertisement. Stillwater's Law Firm. People, Integrity, Service. Nigeria, Angola, OAPI. Protecting Ideas in Africa. Services. Intellectual property, media, entertainments, technology, sports and litigation. Second floor, 11 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. P.O. Box 56161, Ikoyi, 101008, Lagos, Nigeria. Tel, 234 0, 1454 7179 to 234 0, 1460 5471. 234 0, 1454 4919. Email info@stillwaterslaw.com or admin@stillwaterslaw.com. www.stillwaterslaw.com. Page 14. Advertisement. Centric. Empowering creativity, enforcing IP rights. Your IP partner for protection, through management to enforcement. Analyzing, protecting, and managing your IP rights in India's subcontinent. Telephone 9189296754663. Email info@centric.com. www.centric.com.
Page 15. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Battle for Jamaica Rum. Written by Lisa Rooms, Managing Partner, Grant, Henry and Rooms, Jamaica. Jamaica is well known for sun, sand, reggae, and a rich history of rum making. However, recently, a battle for rectification of the geographical indication, GI, Jamaica rum, came up for hearing before the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO. Jamaica rum is one of Jamaica's first registered GIs, which is owned by the Spirits Pool Association Limited, SPA, an entity made up of rum producers, including the applicant for rectification, National Rums of Jamaica Limited, NRJ, and J. Ray and Nephew Limited, JWN, who joined the matter as an interested party. For the purposes of this article, the facts relate to a request for rectification of the Jamaica Rum GI by NRJ, which was opposed by SPA and JWN. Request for rectification by NRJ. NRJ requested rectification of the GI register relating to the specifications of the Jamaica Rum GI on the basis that, essentially, some specifications were missing or unsatisfactory. The areas for amendment included: 1. Expansion to include rums aged overseas. NRJ argued that there was a widespread history and accepted practice of Jamaican rums being aged outside of the jurisdiction and sold abroad, and the request was, therefore, not a deviation from manufacturing processes. It argued that this practice should not be a basis for removing the geographical link to Jamaica. Additionally, an accurate GI must incorporate all forms of Jamaican rum, including rum aged overseas. 2. Expansion of water sources. NRJ posited that, with climate change, water sources other than limestone aquifers should be considered and that if not considered, distillers may hinder themselves from producing the desired quantities of rum. 3. Food-grade wooden barrels and vats. NRJ argued for utilizing food-grade wooden barrels and vats instead of small wooden oak barrels in rum production. They submitted that the GI need not be limited to being stored or aged in small wooden oak barrels and that there is no evidence that the size of the material used for aging affects the reputation of the rum. 4. Expansion of types of fermenting agents. NRJ argued for the expansion of fermenting agents, including locally grown bacterial and yeast cultures. SPA's response. SPA responded to NRJ's request, addressing the areas for amendment. SPA stated that its mandate is to promote and protect the Jamaican rum industry and that NRJ was aware of and did not object to the discussions and negotiations related to the Jamaica Rum GI. Further, SPA argued that the request by NRJ was mainly for commercial purposes and not that the specifications were missing or unsatisfactory. SPA submitted that rum aged overseas has a different taste profile, and allowing the rum to age overseas will significantly alter it. Jamaican rum must be aged in Jamaica to preserve its authenticity and ensure it is not diluted. SPA also argued that there was no evidence in Jamaica of using other sources of water to make rum, and it is pure water that is required. SPA conceded the use of wooden food-grade barrels but argued that aging in approved food-grade barrels should be restricted to barrels not exceeding 250 litres, positing that this achieves the best maturation and flavour development. In relation to fermenting agents, SPA did not oppose rectification to expand the specifications. JWN's response. In its arguments, JWN also stated that aging outside of Jamaica will alter the distinctive taste of Jamaica rum and create regulatory and compliance issues. It argued that GIs must maintain a characteristic link to the country or area of origin. In relation to the water source, JWN made clear that it did not favor the water source for the GI being changed. Regarding the types of barrels or vats to be used, JWN agreed with NRJ's request for an amendment from small oak barrels to small wooden barrels. However, it maintained that aging should be restricted to food-grade barrels not exceeding 250 liters. The ruling. In relation to the amendment points, JIPO found that 1. Aging containers. The specifications are general in nature and, therefore, for clarity, should be amended to speak to aging in approved food-grade barrels, such barrels not exceeding 250 liters. Rum is not to be aged in vats, as this will affect the flavor, thereby affecting the authenticity of Jamaica rum. 2. Location of aging. Jamaican rum should be aged exclusively in Jamaica. There was insufficient evidence, led by NRJ, that anything was missing or unsatisfactory, warranting rectification of this specification. 3. Water sources. The current specifications are satisfactory. NRJ's arguments about climate change are futuristic and do not support an expansion of the water sources at the present time. 4. Fermenting agents. The list of fermenting agents should be expanded and the register amended, as using one fermenting agent is limiting and can be considered unsatisfactory. Since this ruling in October 2024, NRJ has appealed the decision of JIPO to the Supreme Court of Jamaica, and the results are highly anticipated as the battle for Jamaica rum continues. Page 17. Article. Disclaimer. Images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Space Technologies for Earth Applications, Patent Trends in Satellite Engineering and Telemetry. Written by David Lee Jones, Patent Analyst at Patworld Limited, UK. Aside from communications satellites, space is devoid of industry. Lawrence M. Krauss, 20111. This article analyzes the patent data of satellite engineering and telemetry. It will consider the increased activity in the space sector, with an emphasis on applications for use on Earth, with companies such as SpaceX launching mega constellations 2 of communication satellites, Starlink 3, etc., into LEO, low Earth orbit. Such applications could be Earth observation, EO, for environmental monitoring, meteorology, map-making, mobile or internet communications, etc. for. This article will also compare trends between territories, investigate the state of satellite technology proliferation globally, and contextualize the situation historically. As many companies, countries, and universities increasingly launch small satellites by piggybacking 5 on other missions launches, also known as small SATS, and may be further classified based on weight and volume as CubeSats, microsatellites, or alike. The USSR achieved the first successful satellite launch with Sputnik, which prompted the USA to catch up and eventually surpass them with the historic Apollo 11 moon landing and subsequent lunar missions. The USA also developed the first GPS, Global Positioning System, named Navstar, which was launched in 1978 into medium Earth orbit, MEO, and expanded during the 1980s. A pivotal moment came in 1983 when the key GPS technology was declassified and made public after a commercial jet was tragically shot down for straying into Soviet airspace. The original GPS constellation, relatively small compared to today's mega constellations, consists of 24 satellites and is managed by the US Space Force 6. China has created its own rival GPS system called Beidou, which means Big Dipper. Since its introduction in 2007, this system has evolved through 3 versions, Beidou 1-3. Sputnik itself qualifies as the first smallsat under NASA's current weight classification, which defines microsatellites as weighing between 10 to 100 kilograms. Sputnik weighed 83.6 kilograms. Nanosatellites are categorized as weighing less than 10 kilograms, and CubeSats are a specific type of nanosatellite based on a standard unit, 1U, measuring 10x10x10 cm 9. The first Earth observation satellite was Sputnik 2, which carried a dog named Laika and 2 spectrophotometers to measure solar radiation 10. The Big Six. The space agencies that currently have full launch capability and build their own satellites are referred to as the Big Six. They have achieved either human spaceflight, robotic interplanetary missions, or both. The Big Six comprises NASA, CNSA, ISRO, JAXA, Roscosmos, and ESA-11 and belongs to the USA, China, India, Japan, Russia, and 22 participating members of Europe, including UK 12, respectively. Recent developments. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has a national space strategy. The space sector employs 45,000 people and generates £16.4 billion as of February 2022-13. However, recent news of the reaction engines falling into Administration 14 and last year's shutting down of Virgin Orbit after a failed sky-based launch with the loss of 9 satellites may dampen the mood. 15. United States of America. The USA is home to SpaceX, which has had much success with its Falcon range of rockets and has been developing its reusable Starship. SpaceX has completed successful tests, including the most recent successful retrieval of the Super Heavy booster at the Launch Pad 16. However, the Falcon 9 rocket has been used to launch Starlink satellites thus far. The commercialization of space has brought major cost-saving benefits but also poses challenges. These include increased light pollution, which impacts ground-based astronomy 17, and the growing risk of orbital debris in low Earth orbit. This debris could lead to a chain reaction of collisions, known as Kessler syndrome 18. Europe. ESA has recently launched, on board a Falcon 9 from California, its Arctic weather satellite, which is equipped with a microwave radiometer for measuring atmospheric humidity and temperature. 19. ESA has an entire component of its space program called Copernicus with a set of dedicated satellites, the Sentinel family, 4EO20, and is increasingly interested in using CubeSats-21. China. China is increasingly invested in the space sector. In addition to creating its own space station for human habitation, Tiangong 22 is developing a 14,000 satellite mega-constellation named Qianfan, translated as Thousand Sails 23, as an answer to SpaceX's Starlink 24. Rest of world. With the reduction in the cost of launching satellites and the increase in the prevalence of small satellites, CubeSats, etc., countries that do not have launch facilities may still get satellites in orbit from other carriers. African nations are taking advantage of this. As of November 2024, 17 African countries have put 62 satellites in orbit. 25, allowing easier access to satellite data that may help with monitoring crops, detecting extreme weather, or improving telecommunications. 26. Comparing satellite patent trends globally. In order to compare the global patent application, the data analysis has been limited to the following classes: B64G1 1007, communications satellites, B64G1 1014, navigation satellites, B64G1 1021, Earth observation satellites, B64G1 1028, using optical means for mapping, surveying or detection, e.g. of intelligence, B64G1 1035. Using radar for mapping, surveying or detection, e.g. of intelligence, B64G1 1042, specifically adapted for meteorology, and B64G1 1085, swarms and constellations, i.e. relevant for Earth applications, such as observation or navigation. The US has historically had and has largely kept the majority of patents, but other relevant territories, such as EP and CN, have caught up. The overall trend peaked once in 1998 and peaked far higher in 2020, as seen in Figures 1 and 3. As can be seen from the patent map in Figure 1, most patent families are associated with US territory, followed by China, as EPO publications are not shown in this image, and several European countries, including the UK. Other Western-aligned countries, such as the Republic of Korea, Australia, Canada, and Japan, as well as other BRICS countries, such as Russia and Brazil, have significant numbers of patent families. As can be seen from Figure 2 patent data, there is a peak in the late 90s that may coincide with the peak of the Space Shuttle era and the more recent peak associated with the commercialization of space. The delays due to the 18-month patent publication cycle account for any discrepancy seen in 2023. The bubble map of patent families in Figure 3 confirms the USA still has the lion's share of patent applications, with Europe, Japan, and China making significant strides. Again, the delays due to the 18-month patent publication cycle account for any discrepancy seen in 2023. If we limit the bubble map specifically for CubeSats and nanosatellites, as in Figure 4, China leads significantly, followed distantly by the USA. Once again, the delays due to the 18-month patent publication cycle account for any discrepancy seen in 2023. Top assignees. The word cloud in Figure 5 shows the top assignees for the appropriate classes, with Mitsubishi Thales, Boeing, Airbus, Lockheed, and Maxar leading the way. Conclusion. Since 2000, there has been a significant rise in patent publications related to telemetry and satellite engineering, coinciding with the commercialization of space and the emergence of Space Race 2.0. In the specific telemetry and Earth observation satellite fields, competition extends beyond two main players, involving at least four key regions: the USA, Europe, China, and Japan. The USA has made significant advancements in payload delivery, especially in constructing mega-constellations, while both the USA and China have already completed navigational satellite networks. China is also leading in patent publications related to CubeSats. Europe falls between China and the USA in the number of patent applications and invests heavily in Earth observation through its space agency. Japan's Mitsubishi Electric is the top assignee for patents in this field, as shown in Figure 5. Although the USA currently leads in annual patent publications, China, Europe, and Japan are narrowing the gap, as illustrated in Figure 3. Despite Russia's legacy in space achievements, it ranks 10th in patent filings. Among BRICS nations, only Russia and China appear in the top 10. Brazil, however, ranks 10th in CubeSat-related patents, as seen in Figure 4. While more nations now have satellites in orbit, patent filings do not significantly reflect this proliferation. This trend highlights the concentration of innovation in a few key regions. Page 23. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Patent Application Strategies in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Written by Tina Nan, Managing Partner, Co-Horizon IP Attorneys, China. China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan of China have close economic ties. There is a profound economic connection and complementarity among them. As the global manufacturing center, China has close interactions with Hong Kong and Taiwan regarding trade, investment, and technological cooperation. As an international financial center, Hong Kong provides financial services and access to international markets for enterprises from the Chinese mainland and Taiwan. Taiwan occupies an important position in the global supply chain with its electronic information and precision manufacturing industries. It has also formed a stable industrial supply chain relationship with the Chinese mainland, especially in the electronic information industry's supply chain. In recent years, despite the fluctuations in the global economic situation, cross-strait trade has still maintained growth, demonstrating the resilience and potential of cross-strait economic cooperation. In addition, with the advancement of the Belt and Road Initiative, cross-strait economic and trade cooperation has also shown new growth points overseas, further deepening the economic bond. There are similarities and differences in the use of the Chinese language in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. The similarity lies in that their Chinese originates from the Han nationality's common language, which has a profound historical and cultural connection. In terms of pronunciation, characters, vocabulary, and grammar, they all have obvious inheritances from early Mandarin. The difference is that the Chinese language has developed its own characteristics due to historical and geographical factors. The Chinese mainland promotes the use of simplified characters and Mandarin, while Hong Kong and Taiwan mainly use traditional characters. The Chinese language in Hong Kong is greatly influenced by Cantonese. Many people in Hong Kong use Cantonese in daily communication, and Cantonese expressions are often mixed in with written language. The Chinese language in Taiwan is influenced by the Minnan dialect and the Hakka dialect. Although the Mandarin Kuyu in Taiwan is close to the Mandarin on the Chinese mainland, it also differs in pronunciation, vocabulary, and other aspects, and a certain degree of differentiation has occurred in its development. In addition, the Chinese language in Hong Kong is mixed with English, forming a unique language feature. Generally speaking, while maintaining the common origin, their Chinese language has also developed unique regional characteristics respectively. Based on the aforementioned issues regarding the Chinese language, given that different patent systems are adopted in China, Taiwan of China, and Hong Kong, respectively, the question of how to plan the patent application process arises when the application documents are not in Chinese. How can we utilize the same Chinese language to save translation costs and improve efficiency? How can we take advantage of the special ordinance between China and Hong Kong to achieve efficient grants? Since Taiwan is not a member of the Patent Cooperation Treaty, PCT, how can we make use of the Chinese version that has already been translated for Taiwan filing under the Paris Convention to save translation costs when subsequently entering the Chinese national procedure through the PCT? Only some of the obvious focal issues are listed above. The following is a brief introduction to several different application strategies for intending to solve these problems. PCT First plus Taiwan filing, optimized path as strongly recommended. Main steps. A. Priority, first domestic filing other than China. B. Filing PCT application within 12 months. C. Filing TW filing within 12 months. D. Entering the national phase in China within 30 seconds months. E. Hong Kong registration is based on the patent application of D by a two-step registration procedure. Language, translation. A. Priority, non-Chinese. B. PCT, non-Chinese. C. TW, traditional Chinese, translation as required. D. CN, simplified Chinese, as transformed from traditional Chinese. E. Hong Kong, laid open granted Gazette of CN patent application, no translation. Possible and applicable conditions. A. There are relatively many designated countries regions, more than 5, including Taiwan of China. B. The applicant would like to decide whether to enter other countries after receiving the international search report. Since it has been translated into traditional characters when applying for TW, there is no need for translation when entering the Chinese national phase later. Only conversion is required, so the translation fee is incurred only once. Moreover, after obtaining the Taiwan Search Report Office Action and/or PCT Search Report, it might be considered for China or other countries to make amendments to facilitate the grant. The two-step registration procedure for the Hong Kong standard application requires that the first step be completed within 6 months of Chinese publication and the second step be completed within 6 months of the Chinese grant. 2. CN First plus PCT TW. Main steps. A. Priority, first domestic filing in China. B. Filing PCT application within 12 months. C. Filing TW filing within 12 months. D. Entering the national phase in other countries within 30 months. E. Hong Kong registration is based on the patent application of A by a two-step registration procedure. Language, translation. A. Priority, Chinese. B. PCT, Chinese. C. TW, traditional Chinese, transformation as required. D. Other official languages for the national phase, it depends on local regulations. E. Hong Kong, laid open granted Gazette of CN patent application, no translation. Possible and applicable conditions. A. There are relatively many designated countries regions, more than 5, including Taiwan of China. B. The applicant wants to decide whether to enter other countries after receiving the international search report. C. Chinese applicant or invention as finished in China. 3. Paris Convention. Main steps. A. Priority, first domestic filing other than China. B. Filing CN new filing within 12 months. C. Filing TW new filing within 12 months. D. Hong Kong registration is based on the patent application of B by a two-step registration procedure. Language, translation. A. Priority, non-Chinese. B. CN, simplified Chinese. C. TW, traditional Chinese, transformation as required. D. Other official languages in other countries, it depends on local regulations. E. Hong Kong, laid open granted Gazette of CN patent application of B, no translation. Possible and applicable conditions. A. There are relatively few designated countries regions, usually less than 5, including China and Taiwan of China. 4. CN first under the Paris Convention. Main steps. A. Priority, first domestic filing in China. B. Filing TW filing within 12 months. C. Filing new applications in other countries within 12 months. D. Hong Kong registration is based on the patent application of A by a two-step registration procedure. Language, translation. A. Priority, Chinese. B. TW, traditional Chinese, transformation as required. C. Other official languages in other countries, it depends on local regulations. D. Hong Kong, laid open granted Gazette of CN patent application of A, no translation. Possible and applicable conditions. A. There are relatively few designated countries regions, usually less than 5, including Taiwan of China. B. Chinese applicant or invention as finished in China. V. Bonus. Regarding the countries that currently recognize China's patent allowance, such as Macau and Cambodia, the applicant only needs to file the relevant grant gazette with a request for extension within the specified time after grant, which is economical and efficient. Page 27. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Patent crackdown: USPTO terminates 3,100 patent applications. Written by Michelle S. Katz, founding partner at Advitum IP LLC, USA. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, recently took a significant step in addressing fraud within the patent prosecution process. The termination of proceedings for approximately 3,100 patent applications due to the fraudulent use of a registered practitioner's signature highlights the seriousness of such violations. This incident, involving the improper use of an e-signature, underscores the need for heightened vigilance by registered practitioners and applicants. In October 2022, the USPTO identified a disturbing pattern related to the unauthorized use of a registered practitioner's e-signature. This discovery was made after a large number of microentity certification forms were submitted with the signature of a practitioner who had no knowledge of these filings. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that someone other than the practitioner had fraudulently entered the signature. Under USPTO regulations, specifically 37 CFR 1.4, signatures submitted to the USPTO must be personally inserted by the named individual. This rule ensures authenticity and accountability in the application process. Violations of these regulations, such as submitting false signatures, are subject to penalties under 37 CFR 11.18, which governs improper conduct before the USPTO. The USPTO's decision to terminate these cases was based on several key factors. 1. The improper use of a practitioner's signature. 2. The submission of papers for deceptive purposes. And 3. A violation of the duty of candor and good faith owed to the USPTO. This case emphasizes the agency's commitment to maintaining the integrity of the patent application process. The fraudulent use of a signature in patent filings has far-reaching legal consequences, both for the parties involved and for the overall integrity of the USPTO's operations. Some critical legal ramifications include: 1. Termination of patent applications. As seen in this case, fraudulent submissions can lead to the immediate termination of ongoing patent applications. This wastes time and resources for both the USPTO and applicants and jeopardizes the intellectual property rights that the applicant may have sought to secure. 2. Sanctions and disciplinary action. Practitioners involved in such misconduct may even indirectly face disciplinary action from the USPTO's Office of Enrollment and Discipline, OED. Under 37 CFR 11.18, penalties can range from reprimands and suspensions to permanent disbarment from practice before the USPTO. 3. Loss of client trust. For practitioners, the improper use of their credentials, whether through carelessness or external fraud, can lead to reputational damage. Clients entrust legal professionals with sensitive information and critical filings, and any breach of that trust can result in loss of business and credibility. 4. Potential civil and criminal liability. In cases of intentional fraud, both the individual perpetrating the fraud and potentially any collaborators may be subject to civil lawsuits and even criminal charges, depending on the severity of the conduct. Pros of the USPTO's decision. 1. Strengthened accountability. By terminating the proceedings of these applications, the USPTO is sending a strong message that fraudulent behavior will not be tolerated. This action serves as a deterrent for future misconduct and reinforces the responsibility of registered practitioners to safeguard their credentials. 2. Protection of the patent system's integrity. The termination of these applications ensures that the patent system remains transparent and trustworthy. It preserves the integrity of the USPTO's examination process, preventing potentially undeserving or fraudulently filed applications from receiving patent rights. 3. Educational opportunity for applicants and practitioners. The USPTO has used this case to highlight the importance of working with licensed representatives and understanding the application process. By emphasizing these points, the agency hopes to prevent further incidents of fraud and to educate both applicants and practitioners about the risks involved. Cons of the USPTO's decision. 1. Impact on innocent applicants. The termination of nearly 3,100 patent applications likely affected some applicants who were unaware of the fraudulent conduct. These individuals or businesses may now face delays in their ability to protect their inventions or even the need to restart the application process entirely. 2. Loss of time and resources. The termination of these applications represents a significant loss of time and effort for the USPTO, the applicants, and the practitioners involved. For applicants, this can mean additional costs, prolonged uncertainty regarding patent protection, and potential setbacks in their business plans. 3. Limited recourse for affected applicants. In cases where applicants were not directly responsible for the fraud, they may have limited recourse options. While the USPTO may allow some applicants to refile their applications, the overall process will still be burdensome and may result in further delays in obtaining patent rights. Conclusion. The USPTO's decision to terminate patent applications involving fraudulent use of a practitioner's signature is necessary to maintain the patent system's integrity. While the decision undoubtedly has significant ramifications for both the applicants and practitioners involved, it serves as a critical reminder of the importance of adhering to the rules governing patent filings. Practitioners must take steps to protect their credentials, and applicants must ensure they work with authorized representatives to avoid falling victim to fraud. By promoting vigilance and accountability, the USPTO is safeguarding the future of intellectual property rights in the United States. However, the challenges faced by innocent applicants impacted by this decision highlight the need for continued improvements in the system to protect against fraud while minimizing collateral damage. Acknowledgement is extended to Mariam Saradzi, legal assistant, for her valuable assistance in conducting research for this article. Page 29. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Adventures of Extension. Written by Vladimir Biryulin, partner, and Elena Nazina, partner at Gorodisky and Partners, Russia. There are two aspects of pharmaceuticals. The obvious is which medicine should be prescribed to treat a particular disease. Another one is that a pharmaceutical is, as a rule, the subject of a patent. Pharmaceutical products stand aside from other products because before going to the public, they must go through research, clinical trials, and registration with the Health Ministry or other authorized government bodies. This multi-tiered composite procedure gave birth to extending the term of patents directed to pharmaceutical products up to 25 years in many jurisdictions. This is not a purely straightforward action. Circumstances surrounding such cases may present difficulties to the patent owner. In one of the court cases ending in April 2024, Promomed Rus, a Russian company, initiated an IP court action seeking cancellation of the extension term of patent number 2245335, owned by Eisai Rand D Management Company, Japan. The patent's validity dates back to June 16, 1999. The patent owner filed a request for an extension before January 1, 2015, a key factor in this situation, which will be discussed below. The plaintiff based his claim on the assertion that patent number 2245335 was not extended for the invention, compound, corresponding to the medicine eribulin, INN, active agent of the medical product Halaven registered in Russia, but for a multitude of other compounds covered by the general formula of independent claim 1 of the patent which is unrelated to eribulin, i.e. compounds which are not active ingredients of the registered product. Besides, he claimed that the patent owner had known in advance that not all inventions of the group were related to eribulin and that the salt of the active agent of the product halovan, eribulin mesylate, was not disclosed in the patent. Besides, the plaintiff also stated that the specification of patent number 2245335 did not confirm the therapeutic indication of the invention identical to that indicated in the leaflet for the product halovan. He concluded that the leaflet for the product halovan instructed that only a specific breast cancer at some isolated stages may be treated, such as only locally advanced cancer or metastatic cancer, stages 3 and 4, and only of those patients who had received 2 phases of chemotherapy. The respondent, Japanese company and Rospatent as a third person, expectably refuted the claims, arguing that the extension term of the patent in respect of claims 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 to 16, and 19 were lawful and arguments to the contrary by the plaintiff are not based on law. The respondent also argued that the eribulin substance was covered by independent claim 1 and dependent claims 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 to 16, and 19 of the patent. After making several similar statements, the respondent concluded that the specification of the invention points to the fact that the patented group of compositions has anti-cancer activity concerning many kinds of cancer. The Patent Office supported the respondent by submitting a report stating that the patented group of compounds, eribulin in particular, possesses anti-cancer activity, allowing it to be used in halovan. Rospatent also confirmed that eribulin is an active ingredient of halovan medicine. This led Rospatent to conclude that contrary to the plaintiff's allegation, independent claim 1 embraces a group of macrocyclic compositions covered by their general structural, chemical formula and pharmaceutically acceptable salts that include all salts, including mesylate. The IP court also engaged an expert in chemistry who answered questions asked by the court. The court gave an extensive general explanation why, on the basis of the law regulating PTE procedure on the date of filing the PTE request in respect of RU patent number 2245335, patents for invention relative to the medicine covered by the general structure may be extended in respect of the claims directed to such medicine in the whole scope even if a single alternative compound of such general formula is directed to the active agent of the registered product. It also relied on relevant positions of the Supreme Court. The IP Court confirmed that general disclosure of the anti-cancer activity with the indication of some specific kinds of cancer for the claimed group of compounds in the patent specification is sufficient to support the fact that the particular compound can be used in the registered product for the therapeutic indication approved for the registered product. The IP Court also stated that the plaintiff's assertion that the specific salt of the active agent, eribulin mesylate, used in the registered product should be disclosed in the patent specification so that the patent validity term can be extended had no basis. As a result, the court dismissed the plaintiff's claim and confirmed that Rospatent's decision to extend the patent's validity term is entirely based on the law applicable to this case. The plaintiff attempted to reverse the judgment in the cassation instance of the court but failed. Discussion. The plaintiff did not initiate a court action without reason. Current Article 1363(2) of the Civil Code provides that when an extension of a patent is granted, the Patent Office issues a supplementary patent with claims characterizing a set of features characterizing a product for which permission was granted. This means that the extension may cover only one product for which the marketing authorization was granted. This is a basic argument on which the plaintiff relied when he appealed against the extension. The trap, or hope that the court will not notice that, for the plaintiff was that the patent owner had filed a request for extension before January 1, 2015. Before that date, the patent in its entirety was extended without granting a supplementary patent containing revised claims and without limitation on the scope of the patent claims covering the marketed, registered, product. The above court judgment is important for patent owners in that many patents for which extension was sought before 2015 remain, according to the old rules. Their patent owners may feel relatively calm and recall this landmark judgment in case of necessity. Page 31. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. The concept of damages for copyright infringement in Ghana. Written by Sarah Norker Anku, Global Managing Partner, and Onyenichukwu Mary Magdalene Okeya-Dotsi, Head of Nigeria Office at SN Anku IP Firm, Ghana. Introduction. The concept of the award of damages is a known relief for tortious acts or breach of contract. Such awards in copyright infringement cases are common. However, the assessed quantum of damages may differ from one jurisdiction to the other. Owners of copyright are vested with exclusive rights to use and prevent others from using the copyrighted works beyond fair use without the owner's consent. Upon an unauthorized use or a threatened unauthorized use, the owner may exercise his right to seek redress before a court of competent jurisdiction. A successful determination of the matter in favor of the rights holder may give rise to the court ordering a variety of remedies, including damages, an account for profits, injunction, delivery up for the destruction of infringing articles, an order directing the infringer to disclose the identity of other persons involved in the production and distribution of the infringing copyrighted works, the distribution channels and award costs, including legal fees and cost of successfully prosecuting the case. Unlike injunctions granted as a matter of necessity in copyright infringement cases, the award of damages and other reliefs is subject to many criteria within the confines of the laws, particularly statutes, precedents, established practices, and judges' idiosyncrasies. This article reviews the jurisprudence of damages in copyright infringement cases in Ghana. The authors will draw valuable comparative insights from another common law jurisdiction for a possible improvement in the Ghanaian system. The law and practice in Ghana. The Commercial Division of the High Court is designated as the court of first instance to determine all intellectual property rights cases. The court is mandated to apply the rules of the commercial court. Provided the plaintiff, the rights holder, is able to prove his case, the court may award the damages sought. In addition to damages, as provided, the common law principles on the award of damages are also applicable. Types of damages. Justice Yorupoor, a justice of the Court of Appeal of Ghana, defined damages as nothing but a sum of money claimed as compensation or awarded by court as compensation to the plaintiff or claimant for harm, loss or injury suffered by the plaintiff, claimant as a result of the tortious act or breach of contract committed by the defendant or his agent. Also, the pecuniary compensation obtainable by success in an action, for a wrong which is either a tort or a breach of contract, the compensation being in the form of a lump sum, which is awarded unconditionally. The principle behind the award of damages is restitution in integrum. In effect, the plaintiff or claimant is entitled to full compensation for his losses. Damages could be liquidated or unliquidated. They are unliquidated if the courts have to assess and decide the amount to be awarded to the aggrieved party, as is usually the situation in copyright infringement cases. Unliquidated damages may be general or special, aggravated or exemplary, incidental or consequential. To a poor J.A., general damages are damages that the law presumes to have resulted from the defendant's tort or breach of contract. They are normally damages at large and can be nominal or substantial depending on the circumstances of each case. Special damages are such losses as will not be presumed by law. They are special expenses incurred or monies actually lost. Damages are provided for in the copyright laws of Ghana. However, the assessment of amounts awarded by the courts is highly discretionary, thereby creating uncertainties as to the quantum of damages an aggrieved copyright owner may obtain from enforcing his rights through litigation. An overview of Ghana law on damages as relates to copyright infringement. As amended, Ghana's primary law governing copyright is the Copyright Act of 2004, Act 690. It provides remedies, including damages, injunctions, and border measures involving the Customs Excise and Preventive Service, CEPS. Decisions of the superior courts are binding on the courts, while foreign-decided cases are of persuasive effect. Section 47 of Act 690 provides statutory remedies available to rights holders in copyright infringement cases. Damages and related reliefs have been provided for in subsections 1, c, and 3 as follows. Sec. 47, 1, c. A person whose rights under this Act are in imminent danger of being infringed or are being infringed upon may initiate civil proceedings in the High Court for the recovery of damages for the infringement. Sector 47, 3. The grant of an injunction under subsection 1 of this section shall not affect the claim for damages in respect of loss sustained by the applicant as a result of the infringement of the applicant's rights under this Act. Apart from Act 690, the High Court, Civil Procedure, Rules 2004, CI.47, also provides for damages in copyright infringement cases. These are: Order 63 Rule 8, Damages for infringement and cost. 1. Where in an action for actual or threatened infringement of an intellectual property right, the infringement is proved, the court may order the party responsible for the infringement to pay to the right holder damages, which are adequate to compensate for the injury the right holder has suffered. 2. The court may, in addition to awarding damages under Subrule 1, order a person it has found to have infringed the right holder's property right to pay the rights holder's costs. Rule 10. Additional damages. The court may, in an action for actual or threatened infringement of an intellectual property right, having regard to the circumstances and, in particular, to a. the flagrancy of the infringement, and b. the benefit accruing to the defendant by reason of the infringement, award additional damages as the case may require. In effect, copyright law in Ghana recognizes all types of damages, including substantial damages. However, what constitutes substantial damages heavily lies in the judge's hands, who is expected to assess the damages. Thus, there is uncertainty in the assessment of copyright infringement damages. Assessment of damages in copyright cases. In awarding damages, the court usually considers the specific circumstances of each case, loss of use or enjoyment of the property, specific financial losses that the plaintiff has suffered as a result of the defendant's actions, non-economic losses the plaintiff has suffered such as suffering, emotional or mental distress, and the duration of the defendant's wrongful actions, among other things. In Rex Owusu Mafo vs. Joy Industries Limited, 2021, JELR 108998, CA, HIO 34 2020, where the defendant adapted plaintiff's music without his consent for its global advertisement, the court awarded 200,000 Ghana cedis as damages for the infringement of plaintiff's copyright. The quantum awarded appears grossly inadequate, considering the loss of license fees and related royalties, the emotional and mental strain and stress on plaintiff, the actual benefits to the defendant, and the duration of the harm. In the case of Kwabena Ofe Kwadin Nkrumah vs. Confédération Africaine de Football Suit No. CM IPR U0595 2022, where the defendant used plaintiff's beats for its global promotional advertisement without the plaintiff's consent, plaintiff was awarded $250,000 in damages. The assessment of the damages has factored in the continued infringement of the plaintiff's copyright and reasonable compensation thereof. In Charles Uche Aika Chinedu Samuel Uguchukwu vs. Mr. Kwesi Twum, Multimedia Group Limited, 2017, Gelray 64818, HC, Suit No. BC 0525 2011, where the court found that the defendant's transmission of the plaintiff's film without permission was flagrant and in disregard of the copyright owner's rights, the court awarded an amount of 100,000 Ghana cedis in damages. In Ghana Music Rights Organization vs. Telecommunication Co. Limited, Suit No. CM IPR 0750 2016, the court awarded damages of 60,000 Ghana cedis per telecommunication company and ordered the infringer to pay 10% as royalties from the revenue generated from music downloads and performances since 2012. Again, in George Bazompim and NII Lant Kumi Bruce v. TV3 Network Limited and Evans Kumi Wadewar, 2016, JELR 63907, HC, Suit No. IPR 11/2013, the court awarded the second plaintiff the sum of 10,000 Ghana cedis, GHS 10,000.00, in general damages for the infringement of his copyright. In essence, the courts in Ghana have absolute discretion in assessing damages and determining the quantum to be awarded. In a couple of cases, the award adequately compensates the rights holder. In contrast, in others, the damages awarded are so minimal that they barely cover the cost of litigation, as was the case in Huma AG Handika v. Ulhaji Ballo Suit No. CM IPR 0376 2022, where the court awarded 100,000 Ghana cedis, GHS 100.000.00, after 3 years of litigation. In that case, the court also refused to grant a relief of an account for profit, even though the defendant had used the infringing material as its trade dress and made significant profit out of the infringement. Thus, the general posture of the courts, as well as the demeanor of the public, do not lend an advantageous perspective for the enforcement of copyright in Ghana. In contrast, the United States of America's copyright laws provide for both actual damages and profits and statutory damages, giving rights holders an option where the actual damages and profits cannot easily be assessed. The statutorily established assessment of damages reduces the uncertainty associated with reliance on judges' discretions. This system assures the rights holder of the possible quantum of damages that follows a successful litigation. Such a system ensures judicial efficiency by eliminating ambiguity in calculating damages, avoiding confusion, imbalance, and uncertainty that marks the present Ghanaian system. Again, statutory damages deter infringers, adequately compensate rights holders, and encourage creativity. Conclusion. The award of damages in copyright infringement cases in Ghana lies in the bosom of the judge. This system of wide discretionary powers of judges has yielded varied awards of damages, creating uncertainties as to the quantum of damages a successful rights holder would be entitled to at the end of a suit. Some awards have been significant compensation, while others have been woefully inadequate to the extent of failing to cover legal fees and the total cost of litigation. It is the view of the authors that a replication of the statutory damages award system, as it exists in the USA, may be useful in addressing the uncertainties relating to the award of damages in copyright infringement cases in Ghana. Page 35. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. An outline of the copyright regime in Sri Lanka. Written by Anomi Wanigasekara, partner, and Sabira Sharif, senior associate at Julius & Creasy, Sri Lanka. The word copyright means many things to many people. To some, it signifies a component of the rights of man derived from natural law and sustains the work of the human mind by protecting authors with respect to all uses of their works. To others, it represents a commercially inspired monopoly for the better regulation of the exploitation of the author's works in the marketplace. In between are other concepts, each with its own philosophical and juridical justifications. The law relating to copyright in Sri Lanka is embedded in the Intellectual Property Act, No. 36 of 2003, IP Act. Sri Lanka is a contracting party to the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works. Thus, works of Sri Lankan authors are protected in all the member countries of the Berne Convention. In Sri Lanka, there is no mechanism for registering copyright. Literary, artistic, or scientific works specifically identified under the IP Act as original intellectual creations are protected works in Sri Lanka. Derivative works such as translations, adaptations, arrangements, or modifications of works, collections of works, and databases are also protected. However, the IP Act imposes certain limitations and has identified certain works that will not attract copyright protection, i.e., ideas, procedures, official legislative text, news of the day published, etc. Creators are entitled to economic and moral rights for their original intellectual works. In Sri Lanka, copyright will be protected during the author's lifetime and for 70 years from the date of the author's death. The concept of fair use is statutorily recognized under the IP Act. It is subject to certain factors to be considered. Fair use of a work, including such use by reproduction in copies or by any other means for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research, is considered not to be an infringement of copyright. In the event of any alleged infringement of copyright, any person who infringes or is about to infringe any of the rights protected under the copyright may be prohibited from doing so by way of an injunction and be liable to damages. The judgment of the Sri Lankan Supreme Court in 2023 in Sarasavi Publishers, Private, Limited vs Dharma S. Samaranake is considered to be a landmark decision regarding authors' rights where the Supreme Court quashed the judgment of the Commercial High Court, in effect recognizing Publis Silva as the rightful intellectual property rights holder of the book. Sarasavi Publishers, Private, Limited preferred an appeal against the judgment of the Commercial High Court in favor of Dharma S. Samaranake, who claims to be a well-known journalist and the editor of a weekly Sinhala newspaper in Sri Lanka. She is said to have gathered material and information to publish a book on local culinary and claims that Publis Silva, a chef at Mount Lavinia Hotel, had assisted and supported her by trying out recipes. The first edition of the book was launched in 2005. Dharma is said to have received a certain amount as an advance payment for the first edition of the book. Later, she learned that the publisher had published 6 editions without her consent. Dharma had then demanded royalty for the said 6 editions, claiming that Publis Silva cannot write and has not written a single word of the said book, that she is the author of the book and that the publishing company has failed to pay her royalty and thereby infringed her economic rights. The publisher's position was that Publis Silva created the book and that the copyright is with him. They further asserted that Dharma was only the editor of the book and that Publis Silva had paid her editorial fees for such services. In this judgment, the Supreme Court has extensively considered the facts and circumstances of the case, especially the work in dispute and the law governing copyrights. The Supreme Court 3-judge bench delivered an unanimous judgment and held that the judge of the Commercial High Court had failed to analyze the evidence before the court in respect of Dharma's role as the editor of the disputed work and misdirected himself in declaring that Dharma is the author, owner, and copyright holder of the disputed work. Therefore, this judgment is believed to be a victory for authors whose works are often claimed by others.
Page 36. Advertisements. H.K. Acharya and Company, India. Advocates, patent and trademarks attorneys. Our services: patent, design, IP litigation, trademarks, licensing, IP valuation, copyrights, and many more. Contact details: HK Avenue 19, Swastik Society, Navaringpura, Ahmedabad 380009, India. Telephone: +9 17926425258/5259. Fax: +9 17926425256 and 2/5 info@hkindia.com. Website: hkindia.com.
Page 37. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Muraho, Rwanda's .rw domain disputes and digital growth. Written by Daniel Greenberg, CEO of Lexsynergy, UK. Muraho, the Kinyarwanda word for hello, is a warm and culturally rich greeting that captures the essence of connection and community in Rwanda. Spoken widely by Rwandans, it reflects the country's welcoming spirit and unity. Therefore, it is only fitting to use Muraho to introduce Rwanda's new .rw domain name dispute resolution policy. This marks not just a greeting but the start of an important chapter in protecting intellectual property and nurturing Rwanda's growing digital landscape. Rwanda's rising digital economy. The Republic of Rwanda is fast becoming a digital hub in Africa. With ambitious policies and a strong vision for digital transformation, Rwanda has embraced innovation to establish itself as a leader on the continent. Internet penetration in the country is steadily rising, creating fertile ground for businesses to grow and thrive online. In conjunction with this, safeguarding domain names and resolving disputes effectively are critical to the continued growth and trust of the local namespace. The .rw country code top-level domain, CCTLD, is pivotal to this journey. It serves as Rwanda's online identity, supporting both local businesses and international enterprises seeking to establish a foothold in the country. As the digital footprint of businesses grows, so does the need for robust mechanisms to protect intellectual property. The launch of the .rw domain name dispute resolution policy on December 1, 2024, is a major milestone in this effort. What is the .rw domain dispute resolution policy? The policy, incorporated into the registration agreement for .rw domains by the Rwanda Internet Community and Technology Alliance, RICTA, are modeled on the internationally recognized Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy, UDRP. It offers a streamlined process to resolve disputes efficiently and fairly, protecting trademark owners from bad faith domain registrations. To succeed in a complaint under this policy, the complainant must establish 3 key elements. 1. The domain name is identical or confusingly similar to a trademark or service mark in which the complainant has rights. 2. The respondent has no rights or legitimate interests in the domain name. 3. The domain name has been registered or is being used in bad faith. If you can prove the above 3 elements, a decision in your favor should be inevitable. A successful complaint will result in the transfer or cancellation of the domain name. This mechanism is designed to be more cost-effective and time-efficient than traditional court proceedings, providing an accessible avenue for brand owners to safeguard their rights in Rwanda. Dispute Resolution in Action, WIPO and KIAC. Complaints under the policy can be filed through 2 main avenues: the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, Arbitration and Mediation Center, or the Kigali International Arbitration Center, KIAC. WIPO, renowned for its expertise in domain disputes, is a natural choice, although currently, it lacks panelists from Rwanda. This gap highlights an opportunity for local lawyers to undergo WIPO training, empowering them to contribute their cultural and legal expertise to the process. WIPO does not specifically list the fees for a complaint under the policy, so it is assumed that the standard complaint fee of $1,500 would apply for a single panelist adjudicating on 5 domain names or less. As a local option, the KIAC has the potential to bring even greater relevance to disputes by integrating local laws and practices. While the KIAC website does not yet list the policy, RICTA's support can help build momentum for its adoption. Localizing domain name dispute resolution is not just about convenience, it is a statement of Rwanda's commitment to creating a robust internet governance framework that reflects its unique identity. Why local dispute procedures matter? Having a localized dispute resolution mechanism is invaluable for several reasons. 1. Empowerment and accessibility. Local processes reduce barriers for Rwandan businesses and trademark owners to protect their rights. They create opportunities for local professionals, such as lawyers and arbitrators, to contribute to the namespace. 2. Cultural relevance. Language and cultural nuances are vital in resolving disputes fairly. The policy currently mandates that complaints be filed in the language of the registration agreement, but incorporating Kinyarwanda or other official languages could further empower local stakeholders. 3. Building trust. A localized approach reassures businesses that their intellectual property will be protected in a manner consistent with Rwanda's legal and cultural framework, encouraging investment and growth. 4. Strengthening internet infrastructure. By embedding local expertise in domain dispute processes, Rwanda can strengthen its digital infrastructure and demonstrate its readiness to handle the complexities of a global digital economy. An example close to home, Airtel. A quick look at the .rw domain landscape illustrates why the policy is necessary. Airtel, one of Rwanda's largest telecommunications companies, could be a prime candidate for the first complaint filed under the policy. Airtel uses the domain airtel.co.rw. However, the domain airtel.rw is currently listed for sale on the domain auction platform Sado for $20,000. This scenario highlights the importance of securing domain names across all CCTLD levels and the value of tools like the new dispute resolution mechanism. RICTA allows the registration of domain names at the third, co.rw, and second level, .rw, which will ultimately lead to disputes, as in the case of the Airtel example. Brand owners often miss the opportunity to secure their trademarks in all the various levels of a CCTLD due to budgetary restrictions or oversight, leading to issues like Airtel. The role of domain blocking. While the policy addresses disputes after they arise, proactive measures like domain blocking can reduce the risk of disputes. Services like Global Block allow trademark owners to block registrations of their marks across multiple extensions, including .rw. This is particularly useful for large organizations with extensive brand portfolios. For instance, Microsoft not only owns Microsoft.rw, but under their global block, they have also blocked Microsoft. Company RW, avoiding potential misuse. Growing Rwanda's digital presence. As Rwanda positions itself as a digital leader, the importance of building a robust internet infrastructure cannot be overstated. Beyond resolving disputes, the .rwcctld represents the country's digital identity. Strengthening this identity involves more than just technical improvements, it requires nurturing trust, inclusivity, and empowerment. The introduction of the policy is a step forward, but it should evolve to address some of its current limitations. For example, incorporating local languages, allowing disputes to be conducted in Kinyarwanda or other official local languages would make the process more inclusive and accessible. Enhancing local participation, training and accrediting Rwandan professionals to serve as WIPO panelists would embed local expertise into the process and align it more closely with national interests. Adapting to Rwanda's context. While the policy mirrors the UDRP, tailoring it to Rwanda's unique legal and cultural framework will ensure it effectively serves the country's needs. Digital connection as a driver of growth. Rwanda's vision for digital transformation goes beyond economic growth. It aims to create a connected and inclusive society. The policy aligns with this vision by fostering a safe and trustworthy online environment. For international IP lawyers, the introduction of this policy is an exciting development. It signals Rwanda's commitment to protecting intellectual property and its desire to integrate seamlessly into the global digital economy. Rwanda's emphasis on innovation and growth makes it an attractive destination for businesses, and .rwcctld is at the heart of this journey. Conclusion. Muraho, indeed, to a brighter digital future. The launch of Rwanda's .rw domain name dispute resolution policy is a significant step in ensuring that its growing online ecosystem is secure, fair, and trustworthy. While challenges remain, such as the need for more localized processes and broader adoption, the potential for impact is undeniable. For businesses, legal professionals, and policymakers, Rwanda's approach offers a blueprint for balancing global best practices with local needs. It reminds us that as Africa's digital presence grows, so too must its capacity to protect and nurture this growth. So, to all reading this, keep an eye on Rwanda's progress. Not only is the country paving the way for digital innovation in Africa, but it is also proving that with the right frameworks and a commitment to inclusivity, a nation can build an online environment that reflects its identity, values, and aspirations. Murako's Cyan. Thank you very much for being part of this journey. Page 39. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. The Red Bull Battle, a commercial and intellectual property war lasting 8 years. Written by Ray Zhao, partner at Unitilin, China. Judgment of Supreme Court on equity qualifications. 8 years later, the dispute between Thai Tencel Group and Rainwood Group over Red Bull in the Chinese market is still unresolved. Thai Tencel Group is the owner of the Red Bull brand, formula, and raw materials, and Rainwood Group is responsible for opening up the Red Bull Chinese market. The two parties, which had been working closely together, sued each other over the trademarks and equity rights of Red Bull in the Chinese market. In July this year, the Supreme People's Court of the People's Republic of China issued a final judgment rejecting Rainwood International's claims. The new civil judgment issued by the Supreme Court is not for the competition of the Red Bull trademark that has been well known to the public, but for the shareholder qualification confirmation dispute of Rainwood Group and Tencel Group Red Bull joint venture company. The focus of the dispute between the two parties is the ownership of 88% of Red Bull Vitamin Beverage Company, Limited. Hereinafter referred to as the Red Bull joint venture. The plaintiff in the lawsuit is Rainwood International Group of Thailand, hereinafter referred to as Rainwood Thailand, while the defendants are Red Bull Vitamin Beverage, Thailand, Company, Limited. Hereinafter referred to as Red Bull Thailand, and Red Bull joint venture. In this lawsuit, Rainwood said that the 88% equity held by Red Bull was actually held on behalf of Rainwood and that Red Bull was only the nominal shareholder and Rainwood was the actual investor. However, Red Bull Thailand refuted this statement, and the equity holding agreement issued by Rainwood Thailand was not accepted by the court. In the end, the dispute was decided by the Supreme Court, rejecting all the litigation requests of Rainwood, Thailand, and it is the final judgment. In fact, Rainwood Thailand is 51% owned by the Xu family, the founder of Red Bull, and 49% owned by the Yang family, represented by Yang Bin. Yang Bin is also the controlling shareholder and sole director of Rainwood Thailand, holding 99%. Although this equity dispute is around the Red Bull joint venture company, the Supreme Court rejected the litigation request of Rainwood Thailand to identify the shareholding. However, Yang Bin and Xu's family's entanglements will not be over immediately. In October 2016, Thailand Tencel launched a trademark infringement lawsuit against China Red Bull, which officially kicked off the commercial war. At the beginning of the dispute between the two sides, many people had the same question. Why did the Xu family insist on taking back the trademark rights of Red Bull rather than choosing to negotiate a better price and continue to cooperate with Yang Bin? It is believed that at the core of this is the conflict between the two sides in the distribution of interests that has been going on for a long time. Rainwood Group voluntarily disclosed information in 2018. Since entering China more than 20 years ago, Red Bull's cumulative sales in China have reached 145.3 billion yuan. Some media have estimated that according to the proportion of shares held by Xu Jiao in the Red Bull joint venture company, the dividend income brought by these sales may be as high as 10 billion yuan. However, Tencel Group said that the Red Bull joint venture had never had a board meeting in 20 years before 2015 and had not received a penny in dividends. Judgment of Changsha Intermediate Court on infringement. In July of this year, China Red Bull issued a statement on its official WeChat public account, saying that Changsha Intermediate Court, 2021, Seong 01 Minchu 564 civil judgment on July 29 has rejected Thailand's Tance lawsuit against China Red Bull Changsha distributor Huasha Sugar Wine Company trademark infringement all claims. The case has attracted widespread attention, not only because it involves well-known companies and brands, but also because it highlights the importance of intellectual property protection. First of all, from a legal point of view, the judgment of the Changsha Intermediate Court is undoubtedly an affirmation of intellectual property protection. According to the verdict, at present, Tencel Company does not have sufficient and effective evidence to prove that the Red Bull Company infringes on Tencel Company's trademark rights. So its claim in this case that the Red Bull Company's subordinate distributor Sugar and Wine Company infringes on the trademark rights is insufficient, and the court does not support it. This judgment reflects the strict attitude of our judicial organs to the protection of intellectual property rights. Also, it shows the progress of the rule of law in the protection of intellectual property rights in our country. Secondly, from a business point of view, this case is good news for China Red Bull and its industry chain partners. Changsha Huaxia Sugar Wine has been cooperating with China Red Bull since 2003, and the annual sales of Red Bull vitamin functional drinks have exceeded 200 million. The victory of this case undoubtedly provides strong legal support for Huaxia Sugar and Wine Company and China Red Bull, which is conducive to safeguarding their legitimate rights and interests and promoting the normal operation and development of enterprises. Thirdly, from a social point of view, this case has aroused public concern about intellectual property protection. Intellectual property is an important cornerstone of modern economic development and is of great significance for innovation-driven, high-quality development. In recent years, the Chinese government has attached great importance to the protection of intellectual property rights and stepped up efforts to crack down on infringement. The success of this case undoubtedly sets an example for intellectual property protection and helps to improve the public's understanding and respect for intellectual property protection. However, we should also note that the protection of intellectual property rights still faces many challenges. On the one hand, with the rapid development of science and technology and the intensification of market competition, the infringement of intellectual property rights is characterized by diversification and concealment, which brings new difficulties to the protection of intellectual property rights. On the other hand, some enterprises and individuals still do not have a deep understanding of intellectual property protection and even have a fluke mentality, resulting in repeated infringement. Page 41. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Suriname, a nation on the verge of change. Written by Elson Frank, attorney and founder at Vision Legalis Advocaten, Republic of Suriname. Introduction. The Republic of Suriname is a relatively small country located on the north coast of South America with approximately 600,000 inhabitants. Despite its location, Suriname is considered a Caribbean country due to its history and culture, and it is a member of CARICOM. The country is characterized by its diversity in culture, religion, ethnicities, and food. It prides itself on being one of the most forested countries in the world and one of the very few that is carbon negative. The official language is Dutch, but many languages are spoken, including Sranan and the lingua franca. The most important industries are mining, forestry, fishery, agriculture, and tourism. Suriname has a rich history in mining industries, including bauxite and aluminium, which sustained much of its economy in the previous century. In more recent decades, the state-owned company Staatsolie developed a profitable onshore oil industry that has been significantly and steadily growing since then. Recent developments. The offshore oil and gas discoveries of recent years are of such magnitude that an upcoming oil boom is almost inevitable at this point. Indeed, on October 1, 2024, TotalEnergies and APA Corporation announced the final investment decision, FID, for the development of a production field in Block 58 offshore Suriname. The construction and installation phase will take approximately 4 years, meaning that the first oil will be produced in 2028 at the earliest. This FID, with a high chance of further development, will greatly increase the presence of foreign investors and companies. This development can be observed in the neighboring country of Guyana, which is about 5 years ahead of Suriname on the timeline of offshore oil extraction. The expected arrival of many foreign companies, products and services, and globalization, which has shown its impact in different ways, has prompted the government to update several legislations. These include the first drastic amendments to the Civil Code and the Code of Civil Procedure in at least a century and almost continuous amendments to anti-money laundering and tax legislation. Moreover, both businesses and professions, including lawyers, accountants, and others, are becoming increasingly aware of the necessity of leveling up their knowledge and skills to prepare for the future if they have not already begun to do so. Intellectual property in Suriname. Surinamese legislation currently offers protection to the following IP rights: trade names, copyrights, trademarks. Unfortunately, there is no patent legislation. How are copyrights protected in Suriname? The legal framework for copyright protection in Suriname consists of the Copyrights Act of 1913, last amended in 2015, the Civil Code and Code of Civil Procedures, the Berna Convention, and TRIPS. There is no registration necessary for someone to obtain copyrights. Copyrights exist at the moment that the work has been created. Nevertheless, the last amendment to the Copyright Act provides the possibility to register copyrighted works at the Intellectual Property Office, named Bureau voor Intellectuele Eigendom, BIE. It offers right holders a way to strengthen their position of proof. Protection of copyrights lasts up until 50 years after the maker's death. When 2 or more persons have mutual copyrights on one creation, both can enforce these rights independently from each other. The Copyrights Act also regulates possible legal actions to claim damages in case of infringement. Article 29 gives the claimant the possibility of seizure of the infringing goods and a demand to hand them over, surrender them to the claimant as his property, or request destruction. In practice, claiming damages is not always straightforward because it is not often evident how many infringing goods have been sold and to whom, which may affect legal procedures for the seizure of the goods or to claim damages. These obstacles can sometimes be overcome by preliminary relief proceedings. How are trademark rights protected in Suriname? The basis for trademark protection is the Intellectual Property Act, Reglement Industriel Eigendom Suriname 1912, last amended in 2018. Contrary to what many Surinamese believe, this law, although indeed very old, does offer trademark owners protection, especially in combination with the Paris Convention to which Suriname is a party. Registration takes place at the above-mentioned Intellectual Property Office, BIE. Compared to more modern registries, the registration process might feel a little dated. Applications must be submitted in hard copy, and BIE has a paper archive, with no possibility to perform online searches or filings. Although this leads, on the one hand, to a somewhat tedious and time-consuming system, these circumstances also ensure that Suriname is the perfect jurisdiction for the so-called stealth or submarine applications that are filed in such a way that it enables trademark owners to delay disclosure, publication, while at the same time guaranteeing protection of the mark. For this to succeed, the chosen registry cannot be easily accessible, and registries which do not have an online presence, whose database cannot be searched online, and who do not have interim publication as part of their procedure are well suited for this strategy. Hence, why Suriname is the ideal jurisdiction for this. By first filing the application in Suriname, brand owners can make use of priority rights, provided for in Article 4 of the Paris Convention, which gives them a period of 6 months from the original application to file the trademark in the jurisdiction where they actually wanted to register, provided that the country is also party to the Paris Convention. The priority claim gives trademark owners the benefit of an earlier application date while being able to keep the trademark hidden until the application is ultimately filed in the intended jurisdiction. In this way, stealth applications have proven to be very useful in protecting trademarks. Upcoming changes, amendments in IP legislation. Copyrights. Although the amended legislation already created the possibility of registering copyright-protected works, the IP Office still has to establish administrative procedures to bring this into effect. BIE is currently developing these procedures. Service marks. It should be noted that at the time of writing, it is unfortunately not yet possible to register service marks in Suriname, an issue that IP professionals have raised on several occasions. Given the fact that the Surinamese business community largely consists of service providers, this is a painful gap in the legislation. Not only do Surinamese service providers need adequate protection for their trademark, but it is also not possible for them to use the priority claim mentioned earlier, as they cannot register their trademark in the correct class. The void in legislation, of course, also prevents foreign trademark owners from registering in the service classes. However, the BIE has already drafted an amendment to the law, which, if enacted, will solve this problem in its entirety. As it now stands, the draft also includes transitional provisions that will provide existing trademark owners a set period of time to either file an application in the service classes or amend a pending application with service classes. This will give right holders first dips at claiming their respective trademarks. The draft legislation has already been presented to the relevant authorities and hopefully will be enacted expeditiously. Industrial design legislation. Suriname became a party to the Geneva Act of the Hague Agreement concerning the international registration of industrial designs in 2020. Since then, an implementation law has been drafted and is currently being reviewed. Once enacted, this legislation will allow Suriname to duly protect industrial designs. Conclusion. Suriname is in a phase of transition and is experiencing many changes, many of them positive. With all these developments, it is highly possible that the protection of intellectual property rights, including trademark rights, will play an even more important role in the near future. It is now, more than ever, important that the country strengthen its legislative framework regarding the protection of IP rights. The fact that Suriname has already begun with these reforms is encouraging. Page 43. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Exploring trademark registration processes in the EU, UAE, and Singapore. Written by Zafira Hudani, reporter at Northern's Media PR and Marketing Limited. Intellectual property rights include patents, copyrights, trademarks, and trade secrets. The most common IP right that businesses focus on protecting is a trademark. The term trademark may be written as one word trademark or two words trademark. In general, a trademark protects a unique name, logo, symbols, signs, and/or colors. There are many different types of trademarks. There are word marks that consist primarily of words. Then there are marks that include logos or designs. As with many things, the protection and enforcement of trademark rights will be specific to the region in which the trademark protection is sought. In the same way, each region has its own registration process. The European Union. In the European Union, which includes its 28 member states, the registration process begins once it is determined that the subject of the registration is eligible for trademark protection. Once this is established, a trademark search is conducted to ensure that another person or entity has not registered a similar mark. After completing the trademark search, the applicant must determine whether to file an electronic or paper application. The electronic application is the most cost-effective and efficient. The online application fee that includes a single class of goods and services is €850. After the application is filed, it will be examined by the European Intellectual Property Office, EU IPO. Around 1 month after filing an application, the applicant will receive a notice from the EU IPO. The notice will address any issues or questions relating to the application that has been filed. The next step in the process is known as publication. The publication period lasts for about 3 months. During this time, information about the application will be published in the EU Trademark Bulletin, and any trademark owner may file an opposition or objection to the proposed application. About 6 months after publication, the applicant will receive a certificate of registration. A trademark is valid in the EU for 10 years and can be renewed for an additional 10 years. The United Arab Emirates, UAE. The United Arab Emirates is a popular region for individuals or companies who are looking to conduct business in the Middle East. The process to protect a trademark in this region begins with determining if the proposed mark is eligible for registration. After confirming eligibility for the proposed mark, a trademark search is conducted to ensure that the same or similar mark has not been applied for. Next, the applicant must obtain the online application from the Ministry of the Economy's website. The application must be submitted with the application fee. The application fee is 6,509 Arab Emirates dirham, AED. After submission, the application will be examined. If no additional information is required, the information relating to the application will be published in the UAE's official gazette and 2 local newspapers. There is a 30-day period, which begins after publication in the gazette, allowing other trademark owners to oppose or object to the registration of the proposed trademark. If there is no trademark objection, the applicant will receive a trademark registration certificate. The registration of the trademark is valid for 10 years, and the owner of the trademark can apply for renewal for an additional 10-year period. Singapore. Singapore is known for being a hub for technology startups and business in maritime Southeast Asia. The application for a proposed trademark must be filed with the Intellectual Property Office of Singapore, IPOs. An applicant for a proposed mark must confirm if the proposed mark fits the registration criteria. Next, a trademark search must be conducted. The applicant may then file an application with all the required documentation and application fees. The application fee for a single class included in the pre-approved classes list is 280 Singapore dollars. If the registration requirements are met, then the application will proceed to publication. During the publication phase, the information relating to the proposed mark is published in the Trademarks Journal for a 2-month period. At this time, the owner of existing trademarks may object to the registration of the proposed mark. If there are no objections, the mark will proceed to registration. The applicant will receive a certificate of registration that is valid for a 10-year period that may be renewed for an additional 10-year period.
Page 45. Conference Corner. 2025 Voices of the Associations. Elizabeth Stewart Bradley, 2025 President and Chair of the Board of Directors at the International Trademark Association, ANTA. This segment is dedicated to our esteemed IP event organizations and associations with whom we have established media partnerships across the globe. We are privileged to provide them with a platform to keep you, our valued audience, well informed about upcoming events and the latest trends in IP conferences throughout the year. By staying connected with us, you can ensure that you never miss out on any of these significant international events and enriching seminars. The Global IP Matrix. Official Conference Media Partners. For 2025 Conference Media Partnerships. Contact info@gipmatrix.com.
Page 46. Advertisements. INTA Annual Meeting. San Diego, California, USA. May 17th to 21st, 2025. Connect with the most influential IP and brand professionals from across the globe at the largest gathering of its kind. Registration opens January 15th, 2025. Visit www.inta.org/2025am for details.
Page 47. Article. Disclaimer: images and references related to this article can only be seen in the print and digital versions of the magazine. Meet INTA's 2025 President, a conversation with Elizabeth Stewart Bradley. The International Trademark Association, INTA, welcomes Elizabeth Stewart Bradley as its 2025 President and Chair of the Board of Directors. As Vice President of Innovation Law at the Princeton offices of Bristol Myers Squibb, BMS, and a volunteer with INTA for more than 2 decades, Ms. Stewart Bradley brings to her official role a wealth of experience in global intellectual property, IP, management, overseeing the pharmaceutical giant's trademarks, copyrights, and brand protection initiatives, and having a deep well of insight into and experience with the association and global IP community. Here, Ms. Stewart Bradley discusses her vision for the association, her journey in IP law, and how her varied experience across multiple industries will shape her approach to this new role as president. Tell us about your journey into the IP industry. Like many people, my journey into the IP industry was by accident. I was studying to be an English professor. During my final semester of college, I took a business law class, which was fascinating, so I decided to become a paralegal, and then I went on to law school. I was very excited about litigation and did not take one IP class in law school. However, after I graduated and worked in New York City as a litigator, they had us rotate around various subject matter areas, and one of the first domain name cybersquatting cases came through our firm. Our client was a restaurant owner on New York's Upper East Side who had a domain name corresponding to the name of the restaurant and fell victim to a hijacking request. Fortunately, he had the resources to fight back rather than settle and pay. We went all the way to court in the Southern District of New York. That was my first taste of IP law, and I loved it. From there, I decided to specialize in IP and changed firms to start learning trademark law on the job. I also had great mentors at the firm, and from there, I was hooked. How will the background, experience, and day-to-day role in the pharmaceutical space enhance your role as INTA president? The combination of my experience with both consumer products and the pharmaceutical industries is going to be an asset for me in this role because it has made me attuned to the differences in those practices. For example, what might be of high interest in the consumer products industry is not always an issue in biopharma. Similarly, there are a lot of aspects of biopharma trademark law that didn't apply in my earlier career. Having an awareness of both of those has helped me appreciate that different perspectives and priorities of our members may come into play as I review potential resolutions and amicus briefs, and that provides me with a bit of a fuller picture and a broader awareness that I might not have had if I hadn't changed industries. The biopharma industry is also unique in that the consumers are patients, who, of course, are ingesting medicines. Health and safety claims are critical for us, giving the threat of counterfeiting special significance. Throughout my tenure at BMS and as an INTA officer, I have worked to make sure that people really appreciate the implications of counterfeiting and what diverted products really mean for patients. Often, when we talk about consumers, that could be a big, vague group. But when you think about your own family and friends who are patients and accessing things on the internet that may not be safe, it just makes it a little more real and highlights how critical it is to address this issue. You have served on several INTA committees and have been involved with INTA for over 2 decades. When you reflect on your INTA career so far, how do you describe your experience? And what stands out to you as some of the pivotal moments? My INTA career has evolved tremendously since I first joined Cadbury in 2003. My boss at the time told me about the association. I went to my first annual meeting in Atlanta in 2004. I had absolutely no concept of what that would mean, and I had no idea of the thousands of professionals who would be there. I remember feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I joined the famous and well-known Marks Committee. That was my first foot in the door of getting involved beyond the annual meeting, and from there, I really appreciated the opportunity to gain hands-on experience. We worked on charts summarizing the status of protection for well-known marks around the world that could be used by other practitioners. I liked that I was doing more than just attending one meeting yearly. So, I started to think, how else could I get more involved? I became a vice chair of a subcommittee. From there, I started getting more and more involved. My first real leadership opportunity was on the Presidential Task Force on Brands and Innovation in 2014. Again, I had no concept of what that really meant when I started, but seeing the tremendous intellect and passion of the task force members was inspiring. It renewed my sense that I wanted to make a difference. I didn't want to just be a member, I wanted to be involved in shaping the policy of the organization. One very memorable moment was when I was asked to co-chair the annual meeting that would have been in Singapore in 2020. It became INTA's first virtual meeting. It was challenging and a lot of pressure, but watching how our members showed up to support us was incredibly exciting. We had more than 3,000 registrants that year. I did a virtual fireside chat with Carla Harris at Morgan Stanley, USA, and it felt like my first Oprah moment. The energy between Carla and me was great. She shared some incredible insights about managing your career and your personal energy. You could see in the chat that the registrants felt inspired by her comments. They were very engaged, and it was exciting to see that. Another of my favorite moments was being asked to be an officer of INTA. It happened around the time that my years of volunteering with INTA had allowed me to finally appreciate what that meant and what a privilege that was. After 15 years of gaining experience with INTA, contributing to committee work, and serving on the board of directors, I was ready to take it to the next level. It's a real honor, and it made me thankful for all of the hard work and commitment to INTA's mission, which allowed me to learn so much and, hopefully, make meaningful contributions in an officer role. What aspects of being INTA president excite you most? There are so many. I'm excited about my presidential task force, and the topic seems to resonate well with members. It is titled Thriving Through Transformation, Evolution of the In-House Role and the Overall Member Experience. As we have seen, the legal and business landscape is rapidly evolving. We want to ensure that our members are not just surviving but thriving. We want to arm them with resources, but we still need to know what tools we need to offer them. I hope the task force will be innovative and come up with things we haven't tried yet in INTA. We also want to help reimagine the member experience overall. How can we bring greater value to our members? I can't wait to see what practical ideas and recommendations will come from that. Beyond the Presidential Task Force, I'm also looking forward to representing the association around the world as we meet with officials and government offices to explain the importance of IP. I am excited to represent the corporate viewpoint and help governments understand why trademarks are so critical to what we do. Lastly, I'm excited to interact with our members globally, hear what their priorities are, and learn how I can best serve them and represent them during my time as president. What do you believe is a key evolving challenge in the IP community, and how is INTA working to support these challenges? Trade secrets are an area of increasing interest that we are currently taking a closer look at. INTA introduced a Trade Secrets Committee for the 2024 to 2025 committee term to help develop and advocate the association's policy regarding the impact of trade secret law on trademark and complementary IP rights. They have hit the ground running. Also, the 2025 New York conference theme is the business of trade secrets, navigating the challenges and opportunities in the ever-changing world of AI. Members are invited to join us in New York City for a 2-day conference that will explore topics such as the role of trade secrets in maintaining a competitive advantage, the relationship between trade secrets and other forms of IP, including when to opt for trade secret protection, and how to effectively enforce trade secrets globally in the rapidly evolving AI landscape. 2025 will be a pivotal year for INTA as it wraps up its 2022 to 2025 strategic plan and prepares to launch the 2026 to 2029 strategic plan. What can you share with us about how INTA develops its strategic plans? There is a very thoughtful methodology. There are 3 phases to it: the consultation phase, the drafting phase, and the review and approval phase. The consultation phase involves reaching out to many stakeholders within the INTA community, within the IP community, and then outside of the IP community, including financial and valuation experts and general counsel. The drafting phase takes all that feedback and synthesizes it into key themes. We have been pressure testing that with various groups, including the board, which we just did during our 2024 leadership meeting, and we received some valuable feedback. As a result, we're taking some of those comments back, looking at it one more time, and then we'll bring it to the board in March for approval. What are you most looking forward to at the 2025 annual meeting? I am excited about the enthusiastic response we are getting to being in San Diego. We are already seeing record numbers in terms of early registration and proposals for table topics. We have two very strong co-chairs, Jill Abasto from Qualcomm Incorporated, USA, and Okan Kan from Deris Intellectual Property Attorneys, Turkey, who will help make the programming incredible. This year's theme is the business of IP. Many members tell us they are increasingly expected to be far more than trademark counsel. We are expected to understand the whole ecosystem around that. I think sessions designed around the business of IP theme will arm our members with some practical, concrete tips on providing even more value when they return to their organization after the annual meeting. We also have more than 30 educational sessions, more than 150 committee meetings, and 20+ business development, BD, excursions to some of the hottest attractions across San Diego. And by popular demand, our Game On Sports Arena is back. What is new this year at the annual meeting? This year we have a dedicated patent series, which will focus on the business of patents, including intangible assets, valuation, and evaluation aspects, which will help build our members' knowledge of these areas and allow them to take practical insights back to their organizations. In addition, for the first time, we have a dedicated in-house practitioners education series to help dive into important topics for our in-house members. Also new this year, we're introducing INTA meeting room services, where members can access a dedicated meeting room planner. Why is the INTA annual meeting the must-attend IP event for 2025? This annual meeting will attract the best and brightest people in the industry. Registrants can come to a dynamic host city, connect with their outside counsel from around the world and their peer companies in their industry, and attend cutting-edge programming that will help them increase their acumen back at their companies. The annual meeting is filled with high energy and extremely exciting events. You can participate in some pretty amazing BD excursions, many of which take advantage of the host city. It is a chance to reconnect with people whom we've met over the years. Personally, I've found that these friendships I started building years ago have grown stronger every year I come back to the annual meeting. As a result, my network has become even more important and valuable to me. Those are just a few of the reasons why I think it's a must-attend event. What advice would you give to young practitioners and first-time registrants who are attending their first annual meeting? Attending their inaugural annual meeting can be overwhelming for first-timers, so I recommend looking through the programming and blocking your calendar for those sessions and activities that are important to you and then scheduling your other meetings. So, for example, if there is a session on AI that you really want to attend, make sure it's on your calendar before you plan anything else. Attend the opening ceremonies. They are always energizing and exciting and help kick off the annual meeting on a high note. I also recommend just being open to meeting new people. People are here to connect. If you're new and a little unsure about things, don't be shy. Just walk up to someone and say, "Hi, I'm relatively new to the annual meeting, and I'd love to hear about your experience." Registrants will be really receptive to that. They are incredibly generous and want you to feel welcome and comfortable. You will just be amazed at how quickly you will be included in this incredible IP community. To learn more about INTA's 2025 annual meeting, visit inta.org.
Page 51. Advertisement. Northons Media PR and Marketing Ltd. Specialists in intellectual property publishing, media, PR, and marketing. Professional services for the IP industry. Publishing. Social media management. Brand awareness and lead generation. Event planning and management. Website development and maintenance. Contact us today for free consultation. info@northonsprmarketing.com. Telephone +44 0203 813 0457. www.northonsprmarketing.com.
Page 52. Advertisement. IP Nexum, the intellectual property industry referral, profile, and business network. Keyword search, profile analytics, community posts, direct chat access, digital networking, search by category, review, and reviews, work and past experience, vetted professional profiles, multi-business management, practitioner search, and references, plus much more. Register for a free premium access profile account using coupon code IPNexumVIP1. www.ipnexum.com. The global IP community at your fingertips.
Inside back cover advertisement. The Women's IP World Podcast, Innovate Her. Hosted by Michelle Katz from Advitum IP, LLC, Chicago, USA. Discover the remarkable stories and achievements of women in intellectual property, IP law, and global innovation in this empowering podcast series. www.womensipworld.com.
Outside back cover advertisement. Pat World, global IP research services and training. Pat World Resurrect Services. Trusted, reliable, accurate. The Pat World team combines scientific expertise with commercial insights to deliver comprehensive IP research solutions. Our services partner with a team trusted by tech companies, universities, and IP professionals worldwide. Pat World Database, your ultimate AI-powered patent research tool. Pat World Training Course CPD, certified online learning. Get in touch. Phone +440 16338166601. Email mail@patworld.com. www.patworld.com. Innovation House, 6 Cedar Court, Celtic Springs, Newport, NP108FY.
You have been listening to issue 21 of the Global IP Matrix magazine. If you would like to be part of the industry's #1 IP publication to share your knowledge with the global IP community, then please reach out to us at telephone +44 0203 813 0457 or email us at info@gipmatrix.com. Visit our website www.gipmatrix.com. Thank you.